Yeah, it is a big problem. So the problem, what we found is the further away the customer is to your part of the supply chain, the more difficult it is to deal with them. So the immediate customer, which is say a cathode manufacturer, they on a daily basis they're buying nickel and cobalt and manganese. So they're in the market, so they understand the market. They understand how long it takes to bring a nickel mine on, a cobalt mine, a manganese mine. The further you go down that supply chain, and obviously the car manufacturer is the last line, the less understanding they have of the other parts of the supply chain before them.
At the moment, Rob, we're on a mission as an organization, and I'm on a personal mission to try and change the relationship between society and the mining industry, because we know that the future of the entire world, frankly, depends on our ability to grow mining at pace in order to power the energy transition. But Rob, I can't see that happening if we don't fundamentally fix what I see as a trust deficit between society and our industry.
Personally, I've been involved in the mineral and energy industry in Mozambique since 2013, various types of projects, and including some coal-bed methane projects, actually also in Tet province. So I've got quite a lot of experience with this country. One of the things I like with Mozambique is that although it is probably not one of the best known mining countries in Africa, it still has a lot of mining activity, large scale, medium scale, small scale.
I think, Rob, that's for women and probably any young person entering into the mining industry. I think at the core is be curious about what the industry is about. Go and learn from the people who make the work happen on a daily basis. There's no better coaches and mentors in this industry than the rock drill operators and the artisans and the operators in the plant. They understand the business. They know how to do that.
Well, I think many of your listeners have recognized the number of exploration dollars going in the ground over the last decade have been limited, and commodity demand continues to rise, especially as we go through big shifts in the economies, particularly things like the electrification of society and the demands on specific critical metals in order to facilitate that.
We saw that actual global gold demand declined 2% year on year to 921 tons. Now, the reasons for that are mixed. Gold is a very unique market in terms of the sectors that exist within it and how they behave depending on market conditions. So what we really saw in Q2 was gold was benefited from central bank buying, which remains robust. And in fact, if you look at H1 as a whole for 2023, it's a record first half.
And South Africa is the center of African mining. Your skill set, your supply chain all works through South Africa. Put that on top of exceptional geology, and there's just an incredible opportunity in South Africa. So I convinced the key shareholders at the time that we should actually focus our efforts on South Africa, where we could get much more bang for the buck. And that's what it came down for. The price of acquiring a very significant asset in South Africa was a fraction of the price of doing anywhere else in the world.
I think, the geopolitical landscape in the nickel game, we all know that Indonesia are doing a great job. Their expansion plans are significant, and they're doing a good job supplying nickel into a particular market. And they do what they do. And that's how that nickel space is going to play out there. And I think there'll be a criteria that nickel off-takers will need to have, depending where that final nickel product's going.
In that large, what is the Canadian Shield? It's a really old piece of rock, probably somewhere around, I think it's Archean, if I have my geology correct, 2.7 billion years old. So the geology is right in that region for lithium exploration, or lithium rather, spodumene bearing pegmatites rather, in that neck of the woods.